I'm upset. Not because I got sick at a Super Bowl party and now it's hard to talk while I'm making this video, but because I have to make this video at all. See, the last video I made on this channel was talking about the benefits of ripping Blu-rays and why I do it. I like having a disc copy somewhere in case something goes wrong with the file, or the file somewhere in case something goes wrong with the discs. I talked about all the benefits and you can check them out over there. But between the time I made that video and now, it's been pretty much made official that Funimation, as of April 2nd, is going away and it's going to be taken over by Crunchyroll. And something I didn't talk about in the video talking about why I ripped Blu-rays was something that Funimation did with their Blu-rays that is not going to be moved to Crunchyroll. And it's pissing a lot of people off, including myself. One of the cool things with buying a Blu-ray from Funimation is that they would often have this little sticker on them, and this says Funimation Digital Copy. And the way this would work is that inside you would of course get the Blu-ray and the DVD, and I talked about the differences with those, you can check that out over there, but you would also get a code for a digital copy that would lock a digital copy of that season of anime to your account. So even if you didn't have a subscription with Funimation, but you had an account, you weren't paying monthly for streaming or anything like that, you could always access whatever you bought on Blu-ray from their digital store or their digital library because you did pay for, and I'll talk more about that in a minute, but you did pay for a digital copy and it's just tied to your library. And that's not getting moved to Crunchyroll. Now, I don't know about you, but I am a very visual person. Let me visually show you why this really pisses me off. You ready? Here we go. These are digital copy codes, and I guess I don't really care if I show it because it's going to be useless anyway, and I used all of those either way. Those were all digital copy cards that came with Blu-rays that I bought, and they're all useless now, period. Great! Now I'm not going to do what Mutahar did and show you what Sony, Crunchyroll, Funimation is doing to you. I'll just put that here. But yeah, that's a pretty accurate visual representation of what they're going to be doing to you, since everything is moving to Crunchyroll, but not everything is moving to Crunchyroll. And I made a short talking about this, saying there needs to be laws against this, and somebody kindly pointed out there are laws against it, and the terms of service with Funimation state that that stuff can be taken away. But I mentioned that maybe marketing and legal should talk to one another so the term forever doesn't show up in their sort of marketing for this, because when you say, hey, you'll have this digital copy forever, and then it goes away, well, I mean, last I checked, it wasn't forever. And aside from the fact that Funimation going away is actually kind of a big deal, whether you hate them or not, they were massive in terms of localization. Dubbing, importing, and localizing anime for the West, they were a big deal. But aside from all that, there are still shows on their service, or well, there were still shows on their service that I can't find on Crunchyroll. And you can't get them here in the States because they were either brought in digitally or streaming-wise with Funimation, or they were only released on disc in Japan. A perfect example is a series called Mekaku City Actors. Now, I have the entire Blu-ray set from Japan because it was a collector's set, and it's a show and a series that means a whole lot to me. Like, I literally got a tattoo of one of the characters' masks with all their colors. That's not the point. You could only watch it with subtitles on Funimation. And when you go to look for it on Crunchyroll, you pull it up, there's nothing there. Literally nothing there. It doesn't work, you can't view it, and when you go onto Funimation and you go to play it, it tells you, hey, everything's moving, go over there. So you can't see it either way. And because I imported the collector set from Japan, it doesn't have English subtitles, and so, well, the English subtitle version of that series is just gone forever until they hopefully bring it to Funimation or to Crunchyroll. I'm losing track already. Sorry, I'm ranting a bit. Did I mention that I'm sick? My point on that front is that a show like Mekaku City Actors not having English subtitles on the disc versions because they never came to the States, and the only way to watch it was on Funimation and it didn't get moved to Crunchyroll, is a perfect example of what I was saying with my previous videos about how if you buy something digitally or you want to view it digitally and it just goes away, well, you're screwed as a customer. But back to the thing I was saying about the cards. Let me grab one of the 45 off the floor here. With these digital codes, I mentioned that when you buy the Blu-ray, you get 3 copies, basically. You get the Blu-ray, the DVD, and the digital copy. and you are paying for this digital copy. And somebody pointed out, well, you know, technically you're just getting this included. No, you're not, and let me explain why. So the first season of Blood Blockade Battlefront came out with a combo pack. It was just a Blu-ray and a DVD, and this is a $35 Blu-ray and DVD set. And then season 2 came out, and it had a Blu-ray, a DVD, and a digital copy. Same number of episodes, same show, just a different season, but you have a digital copy. And this was $50. So between one season that just released with a Blu-ray and a DVD and the other season that released with a Blu-ray, DVD, and a digital set, that is a $15 difference. And if you do the math, the 45 digital codes that are scattered all over my floor now come up to $660 extra that I paid in order to actually have a digital copy permanently attached to my library with Funimation that's just gone now. Sick. I mean, in all seriousness, if this doesn't show that buying a physical copy of a TV show or a movie is the best route to go, I don't know what does. Because imagine if you had just bought the digital copy of one of those shows to have it permanently attached to your Funimation library. You're screwed. That's it. You're gone. At least this, you know, theoretical $660 that I spent extra for these digital copies still gave me physical copies that I can keep and rip and have a digital file as well as the disc. But if you bought a digital copy only and put it to your library, that's even worse because now it's all gone. And really, if you followed some of the other stuff I've talked about with digital versus physical, this shouldn't be surprising when you realize that the parent company of Funimation and Crunchyroll is Sony, the company who had a licensing dispute with Discovery, and instead of giving their users the ability to download the files for the shows and keep it in their library before it goes away from the store, they just said, hey, the shows you paid for are gone. Later, we're Sony. Like, that was it. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm not against digital content as a concept, but the problem with it for me is that the concept of ownership under those digital purchases has to change. And companies, especially when it comes to distributing TV shows and movies, need to approach the purchasing process and the ownership process differently than what they currently are. Because if you look at a company like Apple and iTunes or Apple Music now, if I listen to a song, I stream a song from Apple Music, and I want to own it, I can just right-click on the song, go to the iTunes store, and buy the song, and I get the file. And that file is there. As long as it is on my hard drive, even if they remove it from the Apple Store, it is still on my hard drive. It doesn't go anywhere. Same thing with Steam. If I download a game and the game goes away from the store, as long as it is still on my computer, I can play it. That is what I believe is the ideal purchasing and ownership process for digital media. Not this sort of ownership, but if we decide you can't have it anymore, it's not yours anymore bullshit. Because while I'm repeating myself, I might as well also bring up the fact that I still like streaming services. I like going on and discovering new shows, new music through streaming services that I pay for monthly. But I accept and understand that by paying that monthly fee, I am getting access to a platform, to a streaming service that is pre-curated and might change and might remove songs that I want or might add things that I really don't care about. But if I buy it, if I put down the money to have the file on my computer or on my phone or on my iPad, iPod, whatever, I should be able to keep that file. And if I delete it and it's not available anywhere else, that's my fault. I deleted it. But if I keep it and it goes away from the store, it should not be impossible to retrieve it once I own it. And I mean, really, to keep going back and reiterating on stuff, a sentiment a lot of people have said is, if buying isn't owning, then pirating isn't stealing. And I really don't agree with that sentiment as much as I originally thought I did, just because I am adamantly against piracy. But the concept with piracy is that you have a legal way of buying movies, TV shows, whatever, and you are circumventing that legal purchasing process and stealing it. You are taking it without providing money to pay for it in whatever legal method is available. But to kind of go back to the whole Mekaku City Actors series, if you can't watch it anywhere and you can't buy it anywhere, what are you stealing from? I'm not going to give my answer to that. I'm going to leave my thoughts on that ambiguous, but it's something that's really been weighing on my mind because yeah, if you can't buy something because it just vanishes from existence, are you pirating? Because it's not available to buy legally anywhere. Anywhere. It's a weird time. Either way, I just wanted to talk about this, even though my voice is kind of shot and I still have to do other things that involve my voice, so doing that is going to be fun. But I just wanted to bring attention to the fact that Crunchyroll taking over for Funimation and Funimation going away kind of sucks just from a history standpoint because of how big of an impact Funimation had over the decades of localizing anime, but also the fact that people may be very upset about these digital copies going away, as they should be, and the people who aren't upset about it because you technically didn't pay for it need to realize that you did pay for it. I mean, remember, without throwing the discs on the floor, $35, $50. Digital copy, no digital copy. You did pay for it, and you lost it. And that sucks. But that's it. Thank you all so much for sitting through this video. I do have some other stuff planned that doesn't involve me talking about digital versus physical. I promise. It's just, that has been such a big thing right now because companies are screwing us over and it's really pissing me off. But that's it for now. I've got some other fun stuff that I'm working on and I hope to see you all there. If you like this content, definitely make sure to give it a like. And if you want to see more like it, go ahead and subscribe. Leave some comments down below letting me know what you all think about this whole situation because I know my thoughts and, well, you watched them. So that's it. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to be there and have a good one. Doing a visual gag for a video is so much fun until you gotta go picking all of it up afterwards. This is just fantastic. I feel like crap, and they're all going in the trash anyway because they're all used and you can't use them anymore. Well, owning these was fun while it lasted. Get in the... Ugh.